Hello viewer, in my earlier session I have covered objects and properties of worksheet. Most useful objects and properties I have covered in my earlier sessions. Here I am going to cover what is selection, what is control plus how to write a code in macro to do the activity we do in Excel manually with the help of control plus up, control plus down, or control plus left, or control plus right arrow key. Our objective in this session, that after this session you will learn how to write a code in macro for the activities we do in Excel with the help of key control plus down, control plus up, control plus left, and control plus right. To get started, I am going into the workbook. Here you can see I have placed some values in cell A1, A14 and I12. Now I will show you what activities I was talking about in my presentation. Now you can see the cell A1 has the active selection. I will press Ctrl plus down arrow key. Now you can see selection is placed in cell A14. When I'll press Ctrl plus up arrow key, now you can see the selection is placed back to cell A1. So this is the activity which we did with the help of Ctrl plus down arrow key and Ctrl plus up arrow key. Now I will press Ctrl plus right arrow key. Now you can see our selection placed towards right in cell I1, and again press Ctrl plus left arrow key. Now you can see the selection is placed back to cell A1. So these are the activities I am going to cover in macro. Going into the macro, to start with a macro, just select developer and under the developer click Visual Basic Editor tab. Now we are placed in Visual Basic Editor. To get started with macro, we should start with subroutine. So start sub and give some subroutine name. In this case I am giving hit capture control arrow keys. Now here I will write all the 4 line for capturing down, up, right, left arrow keys activities with the help of control key. So to start with selection dot end, meaning the active selection, and then move the selection to the end of the direction provided in brackets Excel down, and then select, that means stop at that cell. Just go back into the Excel and we saw that our selection is in cell A1. Now I'll write for moving up again selection dot end Excel up dot select, and then I'll write a code to move the selection towards right direction. So for that, selection dot end Excel to right dot select. Again we will write a code to move the selection from right to left direction. For that, selection dot end Excel to left dot select. Now we are done with our coding for dealing with control arrow keys. Now we will execute this code line by line. To run the code line by line, we will use F8 key, being in Visual Basic Editor. To get started for execution, press F8. Now the execution has been started. Press again F8. Now the first line of the code is going to be executed. Just press F8 again. Now the first line of code is executed. Just go back into the Excel workbook and see, now the selection is placed down all the way till cell A14 as the last data exists in cell A14. Again go back to the Visual Basic Editor and execute the line 2nd of the code. Now go back to the Excel workbook. Now you can see again the selection is placed back to cell A1. So again go back to the Visual Basic Editor. Now run the next line of the code. Now go back to the Excel workbook. Now see, the selection is placed into the right direction at cell I1. Again go back to the Visual Basic Editor and press F8 and again F8. Now the execution has stopped. Now go back to the Excel workbook and see, our selection is placed back to at its origin point in cell A1. So this way we can write a code for doing the activities we are doing manually in Excel with the help of key, control and arrow keys. So this was the control plus arrow and selection activities. In my next session I'll be covering variables and few more things. Thank you.